In the rural stretches of Eastern America, every harvest is a year's worth of labor, faith, and hope. But when darkness falls, wild hogs hit like a sudden storm, tearing through fields of corn, soy, and rice in a matter of hours. They move with cunning stealth, turning the defense of farmland into a relentless battle. We're not here for sport. We're here for a mission, to protect the land and livelihoods of the people. At first light, footprints in the clay guide us straight to their hiding spots. For a seasoned hunter, these aren't just tracks, they're a map of hog behavior. Wind steady, clear shot, safe backstop. Here we go. The opening shot hits exactly as it should, following the state's wildlife damage control protocol. At this hour, the community no longer has to fear this herd descending on their crops. Venturing deeper into the trail, a sharp, pungent scent signals the hogs are close. We pause, adjusting our approach so the wind always blows from front to back. When shadows appear in the clearing, every skill kicks in. Target confirmation, safe zone check, then fire. Every move is swift, precise, professional. Reading signs with John has become more than skill. It's a reflex to protect this land. A radio crackles. The hogs are charging out into the open field ahead. A few break the perimeter, heading straight for the farm. No hesitation, the team sets up a new line, creating a wall to stop them from reaching the young corn. If they get through, the damage could run tens of thousands of dollars. We execute the three-way pinch, east, west, south, every angle covered. If one slips through, the net closes instantly. I hold the western edge, scanning every rustle in the brush. When a nearly 200-pound hog appears, I verify my shot and backstop before acting. Not a highlight moment, this is duty protecting the field. How would you rate this shot? Like and share if you want to see more precision in action. With the west secured, Jay spots scattered hogs fleeing east. Tension is written on every hunter's face, but every shot obeys the rules. Know your team's location. Never shoot a shadow. Always confirm your backstop. This is how a professional hunting team defends the harvest while fully respecting U.S. law. South is the toughest. James holds the line, but the herd grows bolder. These hogs are familiar with chase tactics. Charge, evade, change direction. Now, field experience makes the difference. James switches to Plan B. Use the ATV to cut paths and drive the hogs back into the secured zone. The vehicle darts like an arrow, cutting off their escape into the valley. This isn't solo skill, it's a well-oiled team machine. Everyone in position, everyone knows their sector, no repeated shots, no abandoned posts. Thanks to this steel-strong coordination, the land stays safe. After hours of tension, our only concern is how many corn and soy fields did we save? Here, every harvest is a family's life. And when the hogs return, as they surely will, we'll be ready.
The once fertile fields now lay scarred and torn, evidence of a beast that doesn't go down easy. Locals whispered about a monstrous alpha boar, massive, aggressive, and feared by all. We rallied quickly, steel-eyed and dead set on a single goal: track it down and restore peace. But would our years of experience and tight teamwork be enough to conquer this unforgiving challenge? Follow our crew as we dive into one of the toughest hunts yet. No matter how cunning, wild boars follow the same beaten trails, moving from feeding grounds to the rugged slopes where they hide. We spotted the herd climbing slowly uphill and crept in close, eyes locked on our target. When the alpha emerged, I held my breath, lined up the shot, and squeezed the trigger. The bullet struck true. He dropped instantly. More shots rang out from the team, multiple targets down. The rest fled into the dense woods. This wasn't luck. It was the result of sharp tactics, tight coordination, and the ability to read the land and the prey like second nature. That's what gives us the edge, even on the roughest terrain. If that takedown impressed you, hit that like button. After hours of waiting in ambush, we'd barely sat down when word came in. A boar was moving at the base of the hill. We rushed into position. Suddenly, it charged, fast, furious, straight at us. I held my ground, focused, and took the shot. The bullet tore through, dropping it instantly. Under the blazing sun, I moved through the thick forest lining the hillside. Silent, careful, calculated. Then I saw it. One lone boar resting on the forest floor. I held my breath, steadied my scope, and pulled the trigger. One clean shot. No noise, no struggle. In moments like this, it's not just skill or luck. It's nerves of steel, patience, and battle-hardened experience. That's what sets true hunters apart and gives us the strength to face anything the wild land throws at us. Just as calm returned, the hounds let out a sharp bark. They had locked on. The team tensed, ready for the decisive moment. I took aim. 2 deafening shots rang out. The target dropped cold. The danger is always there, but this is our home. And protecting it is not just duty, it's an unbreakable promise. The barrel hadn't even cooled when word came. The alpha boar had been spotted on the rocky hilltop. Then, it emerged from behind the rocks. I stayed calm, took aim, fired. A clean kill. The beast's massive body hit the ground with a final thud. No struggle, no sound, just stillness in the wild. To succeed, you need more than skill. You need grit, preparation, and the courage to walk alone where few dare to tread. As dusk crept in and we thought the hunt was over, 2 more boars appeared, racing across the slope. Eyes locked on, I tapped into every ounce of focus and experience to line up the perfect shot. Every detail had been checked. Rifle sighted, trigger set, timing perfect. Bang! Then bang again! Both targets down. The day's hunt ended not with relief, but with pride. Precision, readiness, and steel nerves. That's what it takes to win in moments of life or death. My mother's sweet potato field in Texas looks like a battlefield. The earth torn up, churned into a chaotic mess. Culprits? None other than wild hogs, mercilessly ravaging everything in sight. We knew we had to act. What would be the outcome of this life or death showdown? Join us and find out. Before we started, we spent all day yesterday scouting the area, marking water sources, automatic feeders, and the countless hog trails crisscrossing the land. Knowing the terrain was key to picking the perfect ambush spots. This morning, dressed in camo that blends perfectly with the environment and wearing quiet, specialized boots, we did a final check. Radios, rifles loaded, and the pickup truck ready in the rear. Our first spot was an old forest where multiple trails intersect. The wind was blowing against us, masking our scent. Suddenly, Chris gave the hand signal to freeze. Through my scope, my heart skipped a beat. A massive wild hog was rooting behind a huge tree. Man, this beast must have weighed over 400 pounds. The initial shock quickly sharpened into intense focus. I squeezed the trigger repeatedly. Bullets chased the hog as it tried to slip behind the tree for cover, but it was too late. Finally, the beast dropped. A spectacular trophy and a promising start to the day. Following fresh signs, we moved to another area. Ahead was an open clearing, the perfect stage for decisive shots. Wild hogs have incredibly sharp hearing and smell, so we kept a safe distance, never facing them head on unless we were sure of our shot. Minutes later, a sounder of hogs crossed the clearing. I decided to take the last one, slightly separated from the group. Locking my aim, I gently squeezed the trigger. The hog was hit, but survival instinct kicked in, and it bolted deep into the woods. As the day cooled, wild hogs became more active. We switched tactics, setting up an ambush near a preset automatic feeder. This method saves energy, cuts down noise, and gets us within ideal shooting range. Hidden inside a hunting blind, we waited patiently. Soon, a few hogs cautiously approached. I held my fire until one stepped into range. Then, the shot rang out. The hog dropped immediately. My teammate radioed that hogs were showing up at the eastern feeder. We moved quickly to the spot. There it was! I waited for it to get closer, just a bit more. Boom! The moment it paused, I fired, clean and precise. Shooting a stationary hog maximizes the chance of an instant takedown, saving ammo and keeping the area calm. Not long after, another hog approached the feeder. Holding my breath, I took the shot. The loud crack echoed and the beast collapsed onto the ground. Just as we were about to pack up, another sounder arrived at the feeder. We knew this was our last chance of the day. The moment one stepped into my sight, I made a quick, decisive shot. The hog dropped, and the rest scattered into the night. We headed back in the Jeep Wrangler, the truck bed loaded with trophies, especially that giant over 400-pound beast. The joy wasn't just in the successful hunt, but in knowing that tonight, the villagers' fields would finally be safe again. They'll be grateful for that. Across the vast prairie, the fierce encounter with wild boar. On the grass, deep tracks remain pressed into the crushed blades, fresh droppings lie scattered, and claw marks gouge deep into the earth. Unmistakable signs of a massive, savage wild boar. We stopped dead silent, not a word spoken. Each man quietly checked his gear once more. If our instincts were right, the herd would circle back here. This wasn't a scouting trip or a game of chance. The mission was clear. Take down the beast that tore through 3 cattle farms in just 2 weeks. Would we succeed in bringing down this monster? The answer is coming up next. Every eye was tense like a drawn bowstring, tracking even the slightest movement across the prairie. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A massive herd of wild boars thundered past right where I stood. Locking onto the lead boar, a sharp shot rang out. It dropped instantly. Follow-up shots echoed, cutting down the rest as they scattered in panic. What a perfect kickoff to today's intense hunt. What do you think? Let us know. relentless footsteps kept pressing forward, heading straight toward the neighboring field. Before long, a lone wild boar appeared, charging across the vast open grassland. But it was all over the moment my shot rang out sharp and true. The beast collapsed on the spot, another piece of land saved from the destructive grip of the wild boar. No time to rest. The sharp baying of the hunting dog signaled a new target emerging. Leon moved in swift. Ahead of him, the beast struggled to escape the pack, hot on its heels. With a steady aim and a firm squeeze, the shot rang out. The prey collapsed instantly, taken down before it could slip away. Leon's razor-sharp skills are undeniable, striking fear into the wild ones so they dare not make another move. The sudden noise raised alarms. The wild beasts quickly slipped into the dense forest beside us. Without a word, the team changed course, moving silently deeper into the southern woods. In just a few minutes, the rustling sound caught my attention. I swept my gaze toward the movement. There, a herd of wild boars was quietly trailing one after another. A sharp gunshot cracked through the air. The entire herd scattered in panic, leaving behind one motionless body. Without hesitation, we plunged deeper into the forest, swiftly hunting down any stragglers left behind. Not far away, a lone beast broke away from the herd, moving slowly and completely unaware. I locked onto my target. Bursts of gunfire rang out, tracking its every step. In the end, the creature couldn't escape the precise shots. A perfect ending, clean and decisive. Leon was no less impressive. Before long, he locked onto his target. With a single flawless shot, the prey dropped instantly, clean and precise. Gunfire erupted from all sides, signaling that the forest was under control. Tonight, the locals could finally rest easy. The vast golden wheat fields of Italy, once shimmering with splendor, are now reduced to barren patches of churned earth, littered with chaotic tracks. The dense forested hills surrounding them conceal an invisible threat, leaving farmers exhausted from sleepless nights worrying about their harvests. Recognizing the urgency, local authorities have issued orders for hunting expeditions to protect the farmlands. Today's hunt brings teams of hunters and their trained dogs into a battle to reclaim the farmers' livelihoods. From 5 a.m., the Italian fields buzz with the presence of Thomas's team. Wild boars typically ravage crops at dawn, but today, they're unaware that their end awaits. Instead of relying on the hound's signals, Thomas employs tracking devices today. Soon enough, the device beeps urgently, and Thomas rushes forward. A massive wild boar appears moments later. A cold, precise shot rings out, and the beast collapses in the field it was destroying. Before Thomas can check the fallen boar, the barking of the hunting dogs echoes through the air, and he races toward the sound. Reaching the field's edge, he calculates the likely path of the prey. Suddenly, from the tall grass, a group of panicked wild boars bursts out, fleeing the pursuing hounds. But they don't get far. Shots ring out, dropping them one by one. The sound reverberates across the field, and the carcasses lie neatly in the hands of the hunters. Continuing the sweep across the field, a strange noise instantly puts Thomas on high alert. He immediately assumes a ready stance for a confrontation. In a fleeting moment, a wild boar appears, perfectly aligned in Thomas's crosshairs. One shot is all it takes. Swift, clean, precise, saving the field from yet another threat. Hundreds of kilometers away, the hills of Spain are no less intense. Finn's team arrives early, accompanied by skilled hunting dogs, spreading out to key positions across the slopes. Just minutes after settling into place, Finn has his first encounter with a massive wild boar. As he readies his stance, the ferocious beast suddenly charges straight at him. But with seasoned expertise, a single precise shot fells the creature at his feet. A smile breaks across his face, marking a victory in restoring peace to this land. Without time to savor the victory, Finn swiftly moves on, continuing the relentless pursuit. He raises his binoculars, scanning the dense bushes stretching across the hillside. A dark shadow silently weaves through the thickets, coming clearly into view. Seizing the moment, he chambers around, takes precise aim, and pulls the trigger. The shot, executed with lightning precision, takes down another boar. Immediately after, the hound's barks echo across the hillside, a clear signal of the beast's presence. Without hesitation, Finn and his team rush forward, coordinating with the hunting dogs to cut off the wild boar's escape route. The first shot is also the only one needed, clean and decisive, ending yet another menace to the area. Last night, an urgent report came in from the residents of a Florida village. A herd of wild hogs had already ravaged 2 cornfields awaiting harvest. If they struck again, an entire family's hard work would be reduced to ashes. The moment we received the alert, the hunting team sprang into action. Massive tracks pressed into the soil, deep gashes tearing tree trunks. Every sign pointed to a new wave of attack approaching. We couldn't afford another second of delay. There was only one chance to stop them before the entire harvest was lost. Early in the morning, the 2025 Ford Ranger came to a stop, and the team immediately took their positions according to the pre-planned strategy. With years of experience, I marked the paths the wild hogs usually took. Bait was placed at precise points, like guiding needles, leading them straight into the trap. Every calculation fell perfectly into place. When the herd appeared, they paid the price for their recklessness. In that very moment, a silent declaration had been etched into this forest. That swift and decisive opening instantly lifted the team's spirits, igniting hope that the crops could be protected. The remaining hogs proved exceptionally cunning, hiding deep within the forest. We moved silently, spotting fresh tracks, clear signs they had just passed through. And there it is! Through the binoculars, I locked on, my heart racing. A swift, precise move controlled the target, ensuring both safety and the protection of the crops in full compliance with regulations. Do you think this maneuver demonstrated enough skill and embodied the true spirit of community protection? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The relentless chase shook the entire forest. Bent grass indicated that the hogs weren't running chaotically, but moving with purpose. An attack was being orchestrated. I immediately signaled the team. Positions along the approach were already set, waiting for the dark shapes to appear. And then, they charged. Simultaneous fire erupted from multiple directions, each shadow controlled with precision. Once again, the skill of reading tracks and the composure of veteran woodsmen successfully thwarted the assault, protecting both the area and the villagers' crops. Continuing the search, we spotted large tracks at the forest's edge, impossible to ignore. Whether deer, bear, or hog, Kevin warned, "If we don't approach now, it'll take at least an hour, and by then, the prey will have escaped." Thanks to quick thinking and seamless teamwork, the team managed to control and neutralize all the wild hogs lurking nearby. Even a single moment of hesitation could have created serious danger, but today, the team's skill and experience ensured the safety of both the crops and the villagers. We checked for new signs, and each lone hog was quickly brought under control. Every shot fired was not only in full compliance with US law, but also served as a firm, resolute warning to these ferocious beasts. Fresh mud on the leaves indicated that the herd was large and moving fast. We closed in, deploying additional checkpoints to ensure no hog could escape. As expected, these positions held the most targets. Thanks to clear guidance and coordinated tactics, every move was under control, and we maintained full dominance over the situation. Before heading back with our spoils on the 2025 Ford Ranger, we made one last sweep along the edge of the field. Suddenly, the wild hogs reappeared. Another attack erupted. After a tense skirmish, the team responded in time, safeguarding the entire crop. The locals could sleep peacefully, while we departed with racing hearts, but full satisfaction, knowing the mission was accomplished. We successfully stopped today's assault. Thanks to the local authorities' approval, this operation went smoothly. Yet, judging from the fresh tracks, this was only part of the herd. The battle to protect the crops is far from over,